Quick PSA before we begin today. Goonery is now on iTunes and Spotify. Go ahead and subscribe, give a review if you like the show.
Yes, sir.
All right, today we're going to talk about Goonery of the Week. We have a late Bears recap from last Thursday and our prediction for this Sunday. Also, the Lakers are your pandemic NBA champions. And finally, should we fear the second wave of the Rona? I'm Uncle Adam. With me is Ben Colassa and Brandon Cauley. This is the Goonery. Sorry, I sort of thought I butchered your name, but I was like, no, that's definitely his name.
Oh yeah.
So this is what happens when you do the live show. Anything can happen. That's what we got
Amen
going
to
on
that.
here. That's what we got going on here at the Goonery. Ben, Mr. Innkeeper, who is your Goonery of the Week?
Well, I'm gonna probably have to go with a little bit of an interesting answer here. I'm gonna roll with Andy Dalton, and that's in the regard that he probably signed that contract to go down to Dallas, go back home, sit on the bench, had no expectations for this year, sitting behind who I thought was going to be the NFL MVP this year, Dak Prescott, and Dak obviously going down with that just horrific injury. One of the better guys in the league. I love watching him play. Wish him nothing but the best. But I mean, Andy Dalton, it just goes out to him. It's an interesting one because it was more so he was always a okay quarterback. He's never going to get you over the hill, and that's exactly what's going to go down in Dallas this year. They've been struggling out of the gate with the defense that bad. And anyone who says that the Cowboys aren't going to miss a beat offensively can just fuck right off.
You think they're going to struggle with Dalton on offense now?
I don't think they're going to struggle. No. I mean, Dak's been throwing 400 yards a game almost every game.
Yeah.
I mean, Andy Dalton's not going to come in and do that. Yeah, they have the talent around him to do that, but the offensive line is banked up, not playing like they have in years past. They really haven't been running the ball as well as they can with Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know what to expect out of Andy Dalton. Well, you do. It's probably 8-8 from here on. However, finish 500 from this point out with Andy Dalton. But
yeah, huge tragedy for Dak Prescott. He was on pace to throw 6,700 yards, just something we've never seen. And then the football gods didn't want us to see that this year.
And I'm not one of those people that's down on Andy Dalton starting. And the reason being is that it seems like the Cowboys are in that kind of system where no quarterback can really fail because they have all the requisite pieces that you need to be a successful team, at least for a quarterback perspective.
Yeah.
And who's to say that this won't be a Ryan Tannehill-like resurgence with a new regime that he's under, and he could possibly succeed? Now, granted, that would lead to some really, really interesting stuff in terms of Dak Prescott and his contract situation. So I think, if you're a football fan, you just watch from afar. You're not someone who just hates the Cowboys because you like to laugh at them or whatever. But I think you would like to see if Andy Dalton could really flourish in Dallas, and we're gonna see what happens with Dak Prescott. Hell, he could be on the center for I don't know, maybe the Chicago Bears next season. Who knows? But yeah,
if he can come back next season.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I think he will be.
You think he recovers in time for next year?
For next year, I think they were saying it's like a 3 to 6 month recovery process right now, depending on how quickly he rehabs. Obviously, I mean, the compound fracture, it's absolutely horrific visually to see, and just, I mean, obviously for Dak Prescott's health in general, it's horrible, but it's better than ligament damage in the long run, in all honesty.
Yeah, the biggest Goonery, right, is happened on a contract year, and he's not.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and Jerry Jones just coming out and saying that Dak will get his contract. Well, he didn't give him his contract when he rightfully, I would say, earned a contract, and said you franchise tag him, and now he's got a lot more to worry about.
I think he'll be fine. I think it might be scarier for someone that wasn't having such an elite season before going down. He'll probably not get the biggest contract coming back that he probably could have. So some money will be left on the table. But
Yeah, it's most likely going to be another 1-year prove it deal, and
Ugh,
I'm sure he'll prove it, and
yeah.
we'll move on. But in the meantime, Andy Dalton, just a
I think they
imposter
could
syndrome
still
type of
compete with Andy
situation.
Dalton in
I
that
think they can
division.
too. They can win the division with
I
Andy
feel like
Dalton.
those receivers' numbers, production won't go down too drastically, and Zeke will kind of be featured a little bit more, and I think you'll start seeing some huge numbers out of Zeke.
Yeah,
It'll be up to
yeah,
that
rightfully so.
defense. That defense is so
Yeah,
bad, so porous right now. But
It's
then
so
again, too,
outdated.
that offensive line is so shitty, and they're so like half the O line is like injured on that team right now. We'll see. We'll see what happens next week against the Cardinals. Brandon, who's your Gooner of the week?
My Goonery of the week features the guy that I predicted to be the MVP of the NFL before the season started, and that'll be Tom Brady. And this I could easily go to the part where he forgot how many downs there were for a guy that's 43 years old, has been through so much success in his career that you would think how in the world him of all people could forget how many downs there are. But I think that whole game, you just saw that there's just a lot of flaws with the Buccaneers and how much continuity they do not have. And I think it starts with Bruce Arians. And he's a guy that I particularly like. And he's a guy that I wanted the Bears to hire back in 2013 when we made the worst hire of head coach in history with Mark Trestman. But I think now you see with Bruce Arians that I think he is proving why that he wasn't really that much of a hot of a commodity after he got fired from the Cardinals, because it's a lot of undisciplined play from his teams. And you can see that Brady I think this is only going to compound over the next couple of weeks because they're playing Green Bay this week. And truthfully, that might get ugly for them because Green Bay is a very, very good team. And now I think that we're going to see if Tom Brady's regret of leaving New England is going to finally kick in. But just him forgetting how many downs there are that's ridiculous as it is. But I just think that whole performance against Chicago is like indicative of how who the Buccaneers really are as a team.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that kind of stands out, the difference between Brady going to the Buccaneers and the Patriots, is just the lack of discipline. Mark Sanchez was talking about it on Get Up this morning, and he was just saying that, you could see how visibly upset Brady's getting. Obviously, he's always been a pretty colorful person on the sidelines with this team, but even more so this year, one, with the learning curve of the new offense, and two, with just how undisciplined of a football team this is. The Bucs right now are first in penalty yards, first in penalties called on them. Last year, they finished first in both those categories as well. You can definitely see that he's getting upset with like the dumb mistakes his teammates are making. He's not used to that.
You think we'll see another season of Tom Brady next year?
100%. But I do think that we won't see Bruce Arians on the sideline for the Buccaneers next season, regardless of how far they go.
Wow, that's a bold call. Who do you think takes over there? Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator?
That's a good candidate, but hell, I wasn't even prepared to answer that question because I don't know. But I think get a new voice in there is probably the most important thing at this moment in time. And just like if this is all going to continue, then a new voice is needed for sure.
Well, we've already seen 2 coaches fired this season. Not too far into it.
Not enough.
And rightfully so.
Yeah. So my Goonery of the week is not so much football right now. That Twitter, Facebook situation, that was a little sketchy. I don't know. Like, I feel like Twitter, Facebook should be a neutral platform, and I don't really understand why they would go on and kind of just pull that kind of stuff right now.
You talking about the censoring that they're doing?
The New York Times post.
Yeah, I was kind of out of the loop a little bit on that because I've been busy all week, but I did hear about it. I didn't know how extreme the censoring was, but I mean, it's not good.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems a little controversial. Something we might need to make a new segment about to discuss some of these gooneries that we see coming up. Just some food for thought.
Now, fill me in because I'm a little lost on this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but like the censoring, like how far does the censoring go in terms of like political opinions or like just stuff in general?
Yeah, so always never really want to get political, but you really can't avoid it these days. It's just in your face everywhere you go.
Hmm.
In sports, on social media. Uh, so the New York Times is like it's a legit, or not New York Times, excuse me, New York Post, big difference. They posted an article, about some stuff that kind of pointed towards corruption from Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, and uh, before they really fact checked it, it just got taken down. Or people were trying to tweet the post to kind of share that story, and Twitter jumped in and just like wouldn't allow it to be shared. Some people got locked out of their accounts, and it's stirring up quite the outrage because we do have a First Amendment that freedom of press, and when you're messing around with stuff because you don't like the story, you don't want to hear it, like it just creates a lot of turmoil, a lot of goonery.
Oof. Well, I don't want to tip my hand about how I feel about that, but I'm just it's not a good look. I'm just leave it at that.
It's tough to talk
And
about.
I don't know if either of you have watched the documentary on Netflix that just came out a few weeks ago, The Social Dilemma. That shit's
I
insane.
did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like about the different algorithms and how basically the social media platforms have just made the divide in the US just even worse by showing you what you want to see with the algorithm based on like all of your history. They show you what you want to see, and they basically create a new normal for every single person. So no one is able to see both sides of anything anymore. And it's just, it sucks because, you go on social media typically for a little bit of an escape, and now it's just everything's in your face, and that's what it is. But it's 2020 for you.
And
Yeah.
only thing I want to add on to that is, regardless of like how we feel social media is an escape, I think that now more than ever, this is an opportunity for people to learn on their own and not be
That's a valid
completely just
point.
brainless about everything that's going on. So I guess it's the only good thing that comes out of that, I would say, but that's about it.
Yeah, well, we might
Absolutely.
need a new side segment, Master Debaters, where people come on and debate these controversial topics, so we can kind of make these educated decisions for ourselves. And
Dangerous.
it is dangerous,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
maybe we should stick to sports too, or debate sports topics. Who knows? Anyway, moving on. We saw a Bears game last week, and it didn't look pretty once again, but they eked out the win. What now they face the Panthers this week, and is this a must-win game?
So before I answer that question, I actually want to talk about what stood out to me in that Buccaneers game.
All right.
Interaction with Matt Nagy and Nick Foles on the sideline, where Foles is basically telling Nagy that we have them right where we want them. Let's just keep attacking by going tempo. And I tweeted out during the game that Foles has always been a guy that works better working in tempo. I don't know how the Bears coaches did not see that during camp, or they just didn't care because they knew that Trubisky was going to be a starter anyway. So that stood out to me. Now going to the Carolina game, I wonder if we're going to see a change of pace in the offense and seeing that, are we going to see more of a pace type of thing so Foles can get more comfortable, and it won't have to be in the second quarter of the game where he's not getting into a rhythm finally, because we've seen that for the past two games. Well, really one, because Foles really didn't get into a rhythm against the Colts. But Tampa Bay, you saw him get into a rhythm, and I think that's important to work towards his strengths. And I feel like they were just so in on Trubisky that they just forgot how good Nick Foles works under his own pace. But yes, it is a must win because
Nick
you
Foles,
have to keep these Green Bay because they're not going anywhere.
I didn't see too much of the game, but from what I read about it and kind of followed through Gamecasts on my phone, it's just Nick Foles seemed wildly inaccurate, and It's
You
just
know, I'll to
you
that
guys
point
caught
about
more of the game.
Foles'
Like,
yeah, to that point of Nick about Nick Foles' inaccuracy, he looked really bad in the first half. Like, there's no denying how bad he looked in the first half. He had probably one of the worst throws I've seen in the entire league in probably the past 2 years. Brandon, I don't know if you know the throw I'm talking about, the
The Mooney
deep ball.
throw.
Yep, deep ball to Mooney.
Yep.
Just it looked like it was 10 yards to the right of Mooney, 5 yards short. Just it's a throw that even I think Trubisky makes no problem. I don't know what it was with Foles, but the thing I like the most about Foles is that I think he's just able to flip that switch and turn it on. Like, I know we like to bash on Mitch here, but like Mitch doesn't possess that ability. I mean, we've seen him do it this year, but Foles has that killer instinct that I don't think Mitch has.
And I think, like, because I'm going to say Mitch does. It's just a matter of when, and what part of the game is it going to come on for him. And I think the difference is Foles seems to switch it like earlier in games when they have a deficit. Where Mitch gets to the fourth quarter, he's like, all right, I gotta play. And that's one thing I'll give Mitch credit for, because the fourth quarter, that seems to be his quarter. And this dates back to when he almost won the game against Philadelphia in the wild card game a couple of years back. But the thing with Foles is I think that he looks timid a lot in the pocket. But that's no coincidence. You want to know why? Because that offensive line, we raved about them the first 2 weeks of the season, but they're not as good as we think. And considering we lost James Daniels and not Alex Bars, a guy that I've clamored for to be like getting more reps, I hope that a full week of practice with the ones is going to have him reach his full potential. Because when he was at Notre Dame, he was a guy who was supposed to be a maybe first or second round draft pick if he didn't get hurt. So I hope that carries over, but I think the biggest thing is the offensive line is not as good as we thought it was the first couple of weeks. And, I
I
don't
just
think
want to
that's
get excited about this team. Do you think Foles maybe just a little rusty and maybe a game or two will kind of get back into, or do you think that's just this is how he plays?
I think it's just very hard to get excited about this team, in all honesty. The defense has been playing out of their mind the past few weeks. 19 points to the Colts and the Buccaneers. It's impressive. I mean, the defense has held up. They're under the bargain, no doubt about it. The pass rush came to life a little bit this past week against Tampa Bay, which has been needed, obviously. Jalen Johnson and Fuller just been playing extremely well on the outside. I mean, Johnson looked a little rusty in the first half against Mike Evans. Had a couple flags thrown on him, but he bounced back well, and Evans finished with 41 catches. I mean, that's just a testament to the talent of Fuller and Johnson.
And one thing I want to add on too, because the defense has been playing out their mind, and Khalil Mack seems to be healthy. I don't know why he's been questionable all year. That's a mystery, but that's neither here nor there. But I think we also need to talk about how Nagy could have very easily lost that game for the Bears, considering they decided to throw 2 times. And regardless of the second throw, which was on the third down, was completed, that could have been a disaster regardless. Because I understand the running game hasn't been working, but with Cairo Santos, how close do you need to get? I understand he's not the best kicker, but it was still within range for him to make a field goal and to have limited amount of time left on the clock where they have to go to the sideline to make a catch, or they have to spike the ball and try to make a big play in the middle of the field, what they tried to do because they lost the track of downs. But that stuff is alarming because if Brady leads them down the field, we're having a totally different conversation. We're looking right at Nagy, so I'm not letting him off the hook in this regard.
Yeah, so the reason I brought up must win is I take a look at the schedule, and I just feel like the Bears don't really have any room. I don't think they have any room to drop any games that they should win on paper. And then, this Panthers team, we got to give respect to Teddy Bridge, right?
He's playing like Minnesota Vikings, Teddy Bridgewater this year.
Right.
He looks very good right now. Obviously, I mean, numbers are a little inflated based on matchups, but it'll be a real testament to see what he does against Bears this weekend. But he's elevated Robbie Anderson to being near elite wide receiver conversations for this first 5 games of the year. I mean, Robbie Anderson, coming from the Jets, obviously reunited with his college coach in Matt Rule, but Robbie Anderson leads the league in catches, yards, and yards after the catch.
They're a
And
tough team, right? So, at the
they're
beginning,
scrappy. They're scrappy.
yeah, we all wrote off Carolina at the beginning of the year, but they're doing a lot of work without even Christian McCaffrey back there. And it doesn't get any easier after that. They get the Rams, then the Saints, then those Titans. It's a pretty rough stretch of football for the Bears right now. Vikings
And,
after that too.
and you know something? I have to be very, very honest. Neither the Rams or the Saints impressed me that much to think that we don't have a chance in that game. The Saints, especially because the Saints are not the Saints right now. And I think you saw the difference when Teddy Bridgewater started against the Bears last season. That was a healthy quarterback and a young quarterback compared to a guy whose arm is kind of deflating on him as before our very eyes. So I think that if we can control the offense in that game, which is going to be still a task because, Drew Brees is still, he's still a great intellectual quarterback, but that's a game where points need to be scored. Whether that's going to happen or not, we'll see. But this game against Carolina is going to be a big testament to that.
Yeah, I think they could beat up on those Saints. They look a little not in sync.
The Saints I don't get their infatuation with Taysom Hill. I don't. They just every week it seems like he keeps getting more and more touches. You keep hearing about Taysom Hill.
That should have been a Gooner of the week.
Honestly,
bringing in
I don't understand it.
He scored though. He scored that
TD. I know, but he's just getting way too many touches to be a gadget player as a backup quarterback. It makes no sense. Obviously Michael Thomas obviously been out with the injury and then the fighting at practice, but
he makes Drew Brees unownable in fantasy right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Saints are bursting apart at the seams. It almost feels like. And it's going to be exciting to see Jameis Winston as the starting quarterback for the Saints next year.
I know. You almost think they
will never bench Drew Brees. Never.
Mm-mm.
It's like a Brady situation when he was in New England. Obviously Brady was never playing this poorly, but not that Brees is even playing like that.
That'd be a good prop bet for you. If wonder what the odds would be if Drew Brees gets benched for Winston this year at some point.
That'll be something.
Yeah, that would be.
Ooh, we'll find out. I think it's going to tell a lot about the Bears, though, over the next couple weeks. These are all, you could say, tough teams. I think they're all beatable teams.
They are. That look at the records. Don't get fooled because – the Rams, they struggle with the Giants, and the Giants are they're winless. Come on. But you got New Orleans, who I think they're beatable because I feel like they have dissension within the team, which we don't know. Then you have Tennessee. I think that's the toughest matchup of the three games.
Tennessee look
100%. I just want to take a quick second to just shout out Ryan Tannehill, I guess. He looks like a completely different player since he's been in Tennessee. People talk about players needing a change of scenery all the time. Tannehill has just proved it to me that it does, in fact.
He's a top 10 quarterback right now.
Yeah, statistically, yes, he is.
Yeah.
And they're letting him cook down there.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but
that was a big win over the Bills on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, it was a humongous win. And all credit to them because they had such a tumultuous couple of weeks with the whole COVID situation and them not following guidelines, saying they should forfeit the game. They really bounced back from this. I'm giving them a lot of credit.
Yeah. I know. We were a little hesitant, right, with the start of the year with the Titans and not sure, 9-7 last year squeaked in, all things seem to line up, but they seem to still be aligned there. And they're starting to get healthy again. So it should be interesting, especially too. They're beating up on Josh Allen's team. And I heard him comparing Josh Allen to Patrick Mahomes in that game.
Well,
Allen looked bad.
Yeah.
Allen honestly looked bad. That's the first time he's looked bad
Yeah.
in a while. Obviously, he threw that interception on the first drive that was tipped, and I think that kind of just fucked with his head, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I think that just got to him. And then from that point on, he played okay, didn't play great, and he threw another pick later in the game, and it just looked like he was pressing almost.
Yep.
All right, we got to move on. The Lakers are now your pandemic NBA champions. Brandon, I'll throw it over to you first. A little bounce pass. Take it away.
Well, I'm not surprised. Well, let me just say, as a Lakers fan, I'm not surprised that we won the championship. This is definitely a humble brag, but in all seriousness, this championship, no matter how many people would try to downgrade it, say it's not, there's an asterisk next to it because of the bubble, and the bubble makes a difference, which I will not disagree with that. But when you look at everything that's been going on from the season being postponed and the rest of the season on the cusp of being canceled because of all the social justice stuff that was going on, they had to persevere through a lot. And of course, for the guy that's been at the forefront for all the social justice stuff was LeBron James. So he had a lot on his plate to deal with, and he got his team to persevere over the playoffs, where they didn't have to meet Kawhi and PG Clippers, but they did have to go through a scrappy Nuggets team. They had to go through a very, very young and hungry Miami Heat team. I couldn't be more proud of this Lakers team. This is a championship that is years overdue. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. Maybe some people would disagree with that, but regardless, but of course, them winning for Kobe, and Adam, you're very well aware of how I feel about Kobe Bryant. He's my favorite athlete of all time.
Yeah, they
And
dedicated it to Kobe, and that was very that was nice. Nice.
it was amazing. It was honestly amazing, and honestly, with AD signing back, and I think there's going to be a lot of moving pieces on his team, but I feel like it's going to be for the better. And I will not be surprised if there is a back-to-back. But am I confident in that? Not exactly, because there is two injured superstars that are looming right now that are not very far apart from them when it comes to zip codes. So it's going to get interesting next year. But
Yeah.
we have LeBron James on the team. You can be confident that there could be a back-to-back.
Yeah, if everyone heals up from those injuries in the NBA, and it's everything's full go next year, I think it could be one of the most exciting seasons in NBA
Oh yeah.
in a while. Where it's not super predictable. I think there's gonna be some crazy off-season shit going on too. Really powerhouse up some teams.
Yeah.
We'll see. Sit back and watch, but yeah, I think that was kind of predicted right in the middle, right? You two said 5-game gentleman's sweep. I was like, well, maybe 7 games. Right, 6, right in the middle of that. That game 6 wasn't that competitive, and
Wow.
all's right with the world. They won for Kobe. It's a nice touch to the end of the year. In an asterisk year, if you will.
I don't even know if you can call it
That's still, yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can. I understand that point of view, but everyone was playing everyone was on an even playing field at that point. So I mean,
no, I'm just
and just speaking of them leaving the bubble, though, I just want to say thoughts and prayers to Brownie.
Oh boy, listen.
I mean,
he gonna get it, man. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, the jokes have been flying. I've laughed at every single one of them. They're hilarious.
I mean, how dumb can you be having that big of a platform, putting that out there?
Like, come on,
did I miss something?
Brownie, who is his freshman in high school, so I think he's 14 or something like that. Sophomore, something like that. And he his Instagram live of him smoking the fattest blunt.
Yeah. He's like on FaZe Clan and shit now, like the video games.
Yeah.
Smoking. Yeah. Okay.
I literally think like the caption on the video or the picture was like that nugget pack. when they were playing Denver.
He's a trailblazer. I respect it.
Yeah, literally.
There's only one way to. Yeah, exactly. Pun intended. There's only one way to, what's that word? Blanking on the word. Anyway, wild shit.
Yeah.
All right, we got a few minutes left. The Rona second wave seems to be creeping in our rear view. Is that maybe we give percentages on the likelihood of kind of a wild winter with the Rona?
I think we're gearing up for like the Battle of Winterfell right now, final season of Game of Thrones style, with how this is coming back with the surges. I mean, we've seen it like all these southern schools, the cases just keep on rising. I mean, Florida, Dan Mullen was asking for 90,000 fans in the stands, and next thing you know, the entire team has corona. It feels like. So, Nick Saban, I mean, I didn't even think he was human. He has corona.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know how this crazy college football season is going to finish if these kids keep getting corona. I don't know how the NFL is going to finish if like games have to keep getting rescheduled. It's going to be a wild finish to these seasons to see how they try and adapt to this nonsense.
Yeah, it's already getting messy in the NFL right now with games like, needing to move and, not really having any wiggle room to move games without getting, real outside the box at this point.
Yeah, it's getting ugly. I've reached a point where I'm almost prepared to wake up because it feels like when you wake up, a new facility is being shut down, like literally every single morning. I feel like that's gonna be the trend. Like I don't know what procedure is going wrong with every team, and I don't know if it's like totally by accident they're just coming in contact with those who have corona, but it just seems like something seems amiss with everything that's been going on. But the Florida situation, especially because they wanted a packed house, and then you see a picture of Dan Mullen's wife kissing players on the lips, and like, listen, I can't be a commissioner because if I see that picture, I'm sanctioning the whole damn school. Because what is that? What is that? like
Southern hospitality, I believe they call it.
Yeah. Listen, to each their own. I'm not in the slandering business. I do that in private, but that's just nasty as hell. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the second wave is gonna come. I would say sooner than people think. And I would be shocked if we have football going into week 17 or even the college football playoff for that matter. I'll be absolutely shocked.
It'll be terrible if wave 2 hits and hits bigger. And, I hate to be a Debbie Downer here, but I think like only 10% of the population was exposed to COVID, and, it still seems to be out there. And if you stick your neck out, it seems like you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Scary out
Yeah.
there.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's no like long-term effects with it. But yeah, it's hope it doesn't take away our football.
Oh, that'd be a killer considering baseball's about to end, and we're gonna be left without basketball probably to about MLK Day. So
You're thinking that late, Brandon?
yeah, that's what they've been saying, at least from what I heard.
I thought they were saying New Year's Day. I don't know why I got that messed up.
Well, I personally I think they should do Christmas Day, but
that'd be the best. I agree.
That would be amazing, but I think they're gonna wait and see because they gotta come together with a plan for like the whole bubble stuff and whatnot. So
that would be a great present.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I don't mind bubble basketball. I'm not like other people who just think that it's just like watered down AAU basketball. Like it is what it is. It's basketball. Let's be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up today. Do you guys have anything else going on?
No, not really.
Yeah.
But I am ready for Big Ten football next week. Can't wait to be led down by Michigan again and again and again and again. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, hey, as a student at Illinois, I think I would rather be cheering for Michigan, but it is what it is. I don't know. We'll see. 8 games, probably gonna get their doors blown off in Madison week 1, and go from there. Got a
Uh,
lot
they,
of returning
they
players though, so
they probably remember last year because last year Illinois upset them. That was a crazy ass game too. I was watching. I was at my job. Crazy game. I'm pretty sure that's still in the back of their mind.
oh yeah, that was our homecoming last year, and thought the campus was gonna burn down.
Oh,
Are there any college players out there you want the Bears to target in the draft next year?
I wouldn't hate Sam Ellinger out of Texas if we got him second, third round, the quarterback, to have him sit behind Foles for a few years until he's ready to move on, and I think that could be a good move.
I'm gonna go the. This is the definition of insanity because I'm looking at that North Carolina quarterback Sam Howell. And
He's awesome. I love him.
he's
Love him.
he's a way better prospect than Trubisky was, so I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on him at all. But of course, Trey Lance is
He's
like
a
my first
sophomore
choice.
though, I believe. I think he's a
Is he?
sophomore, right? I think he
If
was
he
a
is,
true freshman last year.
if he's a sophomore, that will really really hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I'm almost positive he's a sophomore because the first time I saw him play was last year against Temple in their bowl game, and I was like, holy shit, this kid's the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where the Bears will end up season wise and draft pick wise, but that Kyle Pitts tight end out of Florida,
Ooh, bad boy.
yeah,
He's
that looks like
good.
a guy that
He's a dog.
yeah. Hoping they can get that guy next year.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, guys. Till next time. This has been another episode of the Goonery.